So there is a theory going on for quite a while now. What if Jason, one of our main protagonists in GTA 6, is actually an undercover cop? I know it sounds a bit crazy at first, but when you start putting all the clues together, from trailers, GTA 6 website and screenshots, it starts to seem more and more possible. Even though it's just a theory, it has enough weight behind it that the community keeps coming back to it. Let's begin with the first big reason the theory even started. When trailer 1 dropped, everything was heavily centered around the theme of trust. It's one of the most repeated ideas, and in the end of the first trailer there was a scene showing Jason and Lucia together and Lucia saying trust. But what does that mean? Well, trust is only relevant if there is a risk of betrayal. So naturally, fans started thinking, what could cause the trust to break? The most obvious answer is betrayal. Maybe Lucia betrays Jason, or maybe Jason betrays Lucia. And that's how this whole undercover cop theory really started gaining traction. The narrative being set up from the beginning already implies something hidden, something we're not supposed to see yet. Next, let's talk about the body cam shot in trailer 1. You probably remember it, and one of the men in it looked a lot like Jason. We can't say for sure, but his body type and the way he is dressed heavily resembles Jason's model from the game, especially comparing it to the recent screenshots. Now, this doesn't confirm anything, but it raises eyebrows. Why would Rockstar show us a body cam clip in a game where the protagonist is a criminal? Unless the protagonist might also be a cop. Either way, the visual connection is just one more piece of the puzzle that fans have taken into account. Now let's talk about Jason's background, which was officially revealed on Rockstar's GTA 6 website. It says that Jason grew up around grifters and crooks, but eventually served in the army. Not only that, but if you look closely at his tattoos, he has a tattoo saying Marauder, a symbol that appears to belong to an elite paratrooper or spec ops unit. And this is huge. People with special force background often go into law enforcement careers after the military. Whether that's local police, SWAT or federal agencies, it's all a logical step and Rockstar knows this. If Jason was in an elite army unit, it's completely plausible that he was recruited into law enforcement after his service, potentially as an undercover cop meant to infiltrate criminal networks like the one he and Lucia seem to be a part of. Now in trailer 2 there is another important moment, the scene where Jason picks up Lucia from jail. There is this brief but loaded exchange between Jason and the officer at the front desk. The cop asks, "I've seen you here before?" and Jason casually responds,
"You might have."
Now this line might seem like a throwaway, but Rockstar doesn't do anything by accident. That line opens up several possibilities. Has Jason been there before as a visitor or as an inmate, or maybe as an officer himself? Think about it. If Jason was an undercover cop, he would have reason to be familiar with that station. He might have worked with those officers before. The delivery isn't clear, but enough to be interpreted multiple ways, and that's what keeps the theory alive. Why else would they give us that line unless it's hinting at something bigger? Finally, one of the strongest points fueling the theory is a particular scene in trailer 2 that shows a cop. The line he says is, "Us cops, we gotta protect each other." This scene is very cinematic, it's not a random throwaway moment. This cop clearly seems important to the story, he has a unique dialogue, a focused camera shot and is speaking in a tone that implies some internal affairs or undercover business. And here is the key thing. In Rockstar games we almost never hear characters talking unless one of our main protagonists is nearby. So the fact that we are hearing this cop say that line means one or two things. Jason or Lucia is nearby, the camera angle even shows a character with only his elbow visible. Could that be Jason? Maybe. And I want to say thanks to Jetro for this idea. I took it from his video because I actually thought it was a genius take that for this line to play, one of our characters had to be nearby. This type of scene just doesn't get placed randomly in Rockstar trailers. It's clearly hinting at some deeper storyline involving law enforcement, and Jason might be right at the center of it. Now let's talk about the Fast and Furious theory. Some fans believe that Jason started off as an undercover cop but then fell in love with Lucia during the operation. If you've seen the first Fast and Furious movie, you know what I'm talking about. A cop who goes undercover in a criminal ring and ends up falling for the person he's supposed to bring down. This theory makes the most emotional and dramatic sense. It would explain the trust theme from trailer 1. What if at some point Lucia finds out Jason's real past that he was meant to betray her but now wants to protect her. That would shake the story up and fit perfectly within Rockstar's writing style. This would be the perfect redemption arc, a soldier turned undercover cop now choosing a criminal life because of love. It would explain why a character like Jason, who appears level-headed, strategic and almost too clean for GTA protagonists, ends up deep in the criminal world. Maybe that cop is actually Jason's former boss or something like that. Maybe he's trying to bring Jason back in, or worse, punish him for what he has done. It opens a world of possibilities. Jason could be stuck between two sides, the law and Lucia, and he'll have to make a choice. That's the kind of narrative Rockstar does. So is Jason really a cop? We don't know yet. All of this is just speculation, but when you look at all the clues, the army background, the trailer dialogue, the mysterious police interactions, it's not hard to see why the theory has gained so much traction. Maybe Rockstar is just trying to mess with us, or maybe there is a big twist coming. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.